Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Knitting PT vlog? Podcast? I never know what to call it. I guess it's more of a vlog since a podcast is something you listen to, right? So anyway, to get back into it, I am Andrea, your host. This is my channel where I talk about all things related to yarn and knitting and body wellness too. I'm an orthopedic physical therapist and I like to use my platform and my knowledge and put them together to bring just more body awareness and physical health awareness for crafters, and to hopefully share my knowledge to help all of you out there to craft with less pain or to craft pain-free. I want to apologize too, the lighting is probably going to be a little bit strange. The sun is peeking in and out behind clouds right now as I'm speaking. It is like coming out and it's probably going to fade back out. So I apologize that the lighting is probably going to be like going dim to light, dim to light. I'm also sitting here in my knitting chair instead of in front of my yarn stash, which is a little bit more pleasing to look at because the sun was shining directly in the spot I was sitting in. And that was not, it was not good. But yeah, this is my little knitting nook here in our new home. My knitting chair, which I talked about on my last episode. Yeah, but let's get into it. So first, let's talk about finished objects. So my finished object is the one I'm wearing. So this is the Chalet Days Sweater by Samantha Guerin Designs. I am test knitting this for her, or test knit for her. The test is still going on. Excuse me. It is supposed to end, I think like mid-February. So the pattern will probably come out maybe late February. So be on the lookout for that then. But I absolutely love this. So it's a top-down colorwork sweater. I made mine in Moondrake yarn, and the colorway is navy. And this is Mochi Donut, this pink. And I feel like the lighting is really bright right now, so it is blowing it out a little bit. It's a variegated pink. It's got some yellow speckling in there, if you can see. Yeah. So I really love it. The Mochi Donut is fingering weight, so I held it double to get gauge. And the navy is a worsted weight. And this pattern is written for worsted weight yarn. But yeah, I really love it. I'll stand up so you can kind of get the full picture. So it's top down colorwork, a beautiful striking yoke. And then the rib sleeve. Yeah, I knit it to full length because I just really wanted that coverage. I've been finding, I can't remember now if I spoke about this on a podcast episode, but I was recently talking to some people about how I've discovered, now that I'm a more consistent garment knitter, that a lot of times after I block a garment, that the garment does kind of shrink back a little bit. So you all know that when you block a garment and you wet block it, you can kind of pin it out to the size you want to a certain degree, you know. So it does grow a little bit, especially if you're doing superwash yarn. And so I had been kind of relying on that a little bit with my knitting. I'd been like knitting and being like, I know it's going to stretch out a little bit, so I'm going to stop here knowing that it'll hit where I want it to hit after blocking. And it was doing that, but what I've discovered is that after a few months, the garment is kind of just, the stitches have just bounced back a little bit. So the garment itself is not quite as stretched out, I guess, or blocked out as previously. So now that I know that, I am making a conscious effort to knit further than where I would like to stop, with the knowledge that yes, blocking will help relax the fibers and make my stitches more even, but won't necessarily make up for like a whole inch of length. Yeah, so I did knit this one. It comes down to past my hip a little bit. I don't even know if I can show you. It comes down, so it comes down kind of just past, right down to the side of my hip bone here. And I like it. I can tuck it in if I'm wearing a high-waisted skirt, or I can let it, if I'm wearing it with jeans, I can just let it be. And it provides good coverage that I like. Yeah, so I'm really happy with this sweater. I really love it. I really love how striking it is. It is super comfortable too. Yeah. So that is my finished object in terms of works in progress. I have two that I'm working on right now. The first one I did show you all last time. This is the Isla sweater from the Ready Set Raglan book from Pom Pom magazine. So I think last time I don't think I'd even gotten to sleeve separation last time. So I'm down on the body now. I think I've got maybe another 2 inches to go before I do ribbing. I'm also trying to knit this one to length also with the knowledge that ribbing does shrink a little bit, and this entire sweater is ribbed. And I definitely don't want to have spent so much time working on the sweater for it to end up a little bit more cropped than I want. I definitely want it to be a full length sweater, so I'm trying to be patient and to knit to full length. I did try on last night, and it comes down to right at my navel, so I do want a couple more inches before I do the body ribbing. But the Isla is a 2x2 garter rib sweater, garter rib raglan sweater, and to show you that texture, it's beautiful. The yarn is by the Red Pansy. This is in her October Club colorway for the Monet Impressionisms Club. And this one is based on the painting Chrysanthemum. This is what the yarn looks like, all caked up. Yeah. I'm really loving it so far. I'm not a huge fan of pooling in general. I'm okay with it when there's like little bits, and you can see on the sweater that there is a little bit of pooling up here, but otherwise the rest of it is pretty evenly kind of variegated, striping a little. I chose this pattern that has more texture to the fabric so that it would help with the variegation and kind of help break up the pooling a little bit and break up the look of the pooling. And I'm really happy with that decision, even though I really don't love knitting ribbing, and especially ribbing on an entire sweater. But 2x2 garter rib is manageable. That is what I'm telling myself. Yeah. And so I still have to pick up for the collar too, and then do the sleeves. I don't anticipate having this done within the next few weeks. I'm kind of taking my time on it. I don't want to I'm trying to be more mindful with my knitting and not be so progress oriented. So I am not a process knitter. So if you've ever heard people talk about what kind of knitter they are, whether like they're a process knitter or a, what's the other word? Process or progress? Is it progress? Basically, if you're a process knitter, you knit and you enjoy the act of like the knitting and the process of making something more than the end product. Product knitter. I think that's the word term. I am more of a product knitter, and of course I think when we're crafters, we have a little bit of both in us, right? We both love the process of making it, but we also love the finished object. I am more of a product knitter, as in I enjoy more of the finished project. I don't like having projects on my needles for a super long time. It makes me feel like I've made no progress. It makes me feel kind of antsy. It's probably also why I seem to knit so fast, because I do. I'm trying to, not rushing, but I am trying to work my way through projects fairly quickly. And part of that is I'm also highly impatient, which I know doesn't make sense when you're into slow fashion. But yeah. And so, yeah, I'm more of a product knitter. But I'm trying to balance it more this year and not be so goal-oriented and still enjoy the process of knitting. So I've kind of made a rule for myself. Usually what I would do is just be like, I'm only going to work on this until it is done. And right now I'm balancing out. I've got another project right now that I'm working on. And I am only working on this project at night. When I'm knitting at night, it's become more of a mindless knit for me because, you know, it's just 2x2 garter rib. So I just work on this at night. And because I'm only allowing myself to work on it on a certain time of day, I know that I can't make a huge ton of progress. And so that in a way is helping me, it's helping like, I guess, dampen any sort of anxiety I have over not making progress on something. Yeah, I don't know. You can tell me in the comments below if you ever feel similarly, or if it's just me being a little nuts and a little crazy. But yeah, this is the Isla sweater. I really like it. I am anxious to get off the needles because I'm really waiting to cast on for my November sweater for the Monet Club. I I don't remember if I've shown you November's yarn yet. I don't think I have. I'm gonna grab it later so I can show y'all. It is absolutely beautiful. I mean, I love every single month's colorways, but of course, you know, some colorways stand out more to you than others. And November's is beautiful. I already have my pattern picked out for it, and I can't wait to get started on it by making myself finish this one first. Because first of all, I'm also very by the book, so I'm like, you know what, I'm working through the club month by month, so I'm going to finish one month before I start another month. So I've got to get October finished before I can start November, so that is also a little bit part of my rush. Is I am so looking forward to doing November sweater that I really do want to get October finished too. So yeah, so that is the Isla. And my other project I've got on my needles is for my daughter. So last episode I showed y'all the minis and the kind of little rainbow set I put together for my daughter's next garment. And so the pattern I'm knitting up is the Little Camaro sweater by Tannis Fiber Arts. And let's see, I just separated for sleeves yesterday. It's a little messy because it's got a million ends hanging out, so I'm trying to organize it right now to show you all better. Here it is. It is so cute. It looks actually really little as I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, is she actually that little? I think part of it is just it's not stretched out. It'll fit her. It'll fit her. I measured her. I measured her before I cast on the size, and I know it should fit her. It just looks really weird right now on the needles. But it is a... I don't even know how to describe the construction. It's not really a raglan. But yeah, it's a V, so it goes, we wear like this, so the V goes down the front. And she picked out a rainbow, so I just added the last color, which is this deep pink. And let's see, the red is from Madeline Tosh, and the colorway is Dusky Rose, something like that. I lost the label, so don't remember. The orange, yellow, green, and the two blues are from a Christmas mini skein set from the Red Pansy. And then this pink is from, it's another Madeline Tosh. It's Almond Blossom. It's a leftover from another project I'd done. And then this dusky pink I just added is, let me find the ball, is from Quince & Co. and it's the color Andromeda. Come on. There we go. Yeah. So I just separate for sleeves. So make a V down the center and then the sleeves. So yeah, it's super cute. I'm not someone who's like super into rainbows, but my daughter really loves rainbows and she had told me she wanted a rainbow sweater. So this was the perfect chance to make something a little bit out of my usual palette and zone. And yeah, I really like it. She's been really excited watching me knit it up. Yeah, and I've been working on it when in the school drop-off pickup line. If you're a parent and you pick your child up from school, you know what I'm talking about. It's that line where all the parents line up and sit in their cars waiting for the kids to either go into school or come out. You sit there for like 10 to 15 minutes depending on how early you get there. And you just sit there and you wait. So I've been working on this when I'm sitting there and waiting. So it's been a great chance to get a couple rows in each time. And she's been really loving watching the progress kind of grow too. Yeah. Let me show you the stitch markers I'm using for this one. So this is a Hello Gabriella stitch marker. Come on. This is a Hello Gabriella stitch marker. Clear resin, gold foil. This is part of her stitch marker advent that I got this year. And then this one also is part of the advent. And then I've got some little daisies on here. These are by Knit Boop. I have her pomegranate stitch set, which I've shown y'all before. I got these daisy stitch markers as a gift from Aro. When I saw her in New York, she gifted me a set of these as a present. So yeah, so that is the Little Camaro. Alright, I feel like the lighting is perfect right now for you to see the colors. Kind of. Anyway. Yeah, now you can see the little yellow bits in my sweater. Yeah. Okay. So that's all I've got going on project-wise. I've got a lot of thoughts swirling in my head for future projects, which I am waiting to cast on once I get one of these 2 projects done. So yeah, let me show you my stash acquisition sticks, but let me grab November's colorway before I do that. All right, so on to stash acquisitions. So first, let me show you the November installment in the Monet Impressionism Club from the Red Pansy. This is based on the painting Ilo Ortiz, Island of Nettles. I will pop the reference painting here. Okay, ready? I really love this one. Look how beautiful and dreamy it is. I will try to fix the coloring and editing so that it's true to color, because it is a little blown out right now because of the lighting in this room. There we go. You can see it's got it's a pastel-y green, blue, purple, pinky, and it's got some deep kind of black navy speckles throughout, as well as some green speckles that you can see here. Yeah, I really love it. I really love this one. And I can't wait to knit it up once I finish October sweater. Yeah, that is November's colorway. Next, I got this is the December Woolberry Collective, and this is one of the colorways for December. It's Dashing. So it's this beautiful deep green, foresty green. I got this on Aran weight. So this is 100% superwash Aran. I got a sweater quantity. There we go. There's like, ooh, while the lighting is good, let me show you this one again. There we go. No, the sun is coming back. Here we go. There we go. This is very true to color. There we go. Yeah. Beautiful. Anyway, so funny story about these. I ordered these clearly with a project in mind because I never buy Aran weight. And I bought these with a project in mind. Now I can't remember what it was. I have a few ideas of what it might have been, a few patterns that I know I've been eyeing that are kind of Aran weight or bulky weight patterns. But I can't remember for sure. So we'll see. But I do want to try to knit these up soon because it is a chunkier weight. I have been wanting chunkier weight sweaters or bulkier weight sweaters because it's so cold here. Yeah. And let's see. So then I also got some Wandering Flock in the mail. This is the colorway Birthday Ice Cream. This is on DK weight. This beautiful speckly, pinky, peachy, minty color. I love it. I got enough for sweater, of course. But yeah, I really love it. I seem to be very into pastels these days, you know? Yeah. And then I also got these from Camellia Fiber Co. She did a like an Instagram pop-up sale of some either like seconds or some leftovers from her studio at the end of the year. So I happened to be able to snag these. This is worsted weight and her merino worsted. And these were just like testing sample skeins she'd made, but they're kind of this off-white color with some light variegation speckling in them. I plan to use these in combination with something else in my stash that'll pair well with for a garment of some sort or something. It's just I'm trying to have a little bit more worsted weight in my stash, so this is part of my effort for that. So yeah, it's beautiful. And she only had these 2 skeins, so this is all I got. Yeah. So that is it for stash acquisitions. I did want to update you on something too. So a couple episodes ago, before I left Texas, I told y'all that I had discovered that maybe I could do Surrey. And I've always said in the past that I cannot do mohair or Surrey, and part of that's because mohair just feels really crunchy and itchy to me, even when I hold it. And Surrey is made from baby alpaca, and I cannot handle alpaca in any sort of alpaca blends. And so I had always thought Surrey was off limits to me as well. Until I was at the Sated Sheep in Texas for a class I was teaching there. And I was looking through their shop and I found some Surrey, and it felt so soft to me and I was so surprised. So I bought 2 skeins, if you recall. I bought 2 skeins of Surrey from Fig and Posy Fiber Co. And this is their alpaca cloud base. It is baby Surrey alpaca and silk. 74% Surrey alpaca, 26% silk. This is the colorway Pumpkin Spice. Come on, focus. It is so fuzzy, my camera does not want to focus on it. There we go. Okay. So I finally caked it up and swatched it. I held it with some fingering weight leftovers I had. This is, I don't remember anymore, but it was from my Find Your Fade shawl I did years ago. So I held it with this together and I made this little swatch. Made this little swatch here, which you can see very delightfully fuzzy. Oh my goodness. I'm trying not to get my eyes in here because I think it's looking at my eyes. There we go. I guess I do have to do this. My daughter was right after all, y'all. Okay, so this, and so after I swatched it, I just like stuck it down my shirt, as a viewer had suggested. Stuck it down my shirt just to see how it would feel. And I discovered, unfortunately, that I cannot do Surrey. It doesn't irritate me a lot, but it is enough that I do still feel the prickle and the itch, especially around my collarbones and my neck, which I don't know how you avoid that with a garment. So I have decided I do need to stay away from Surrey, because I would hate to knit a garment out of Surrey or have a garment with Surrey in it and I'm not wearing it that much because it actually irritates me, you know? Like that would really suck. So luckily for my wallet, but unfortunately for me, I can't do Surrey. So yeah, so that is the end of that experiment. I will be destashing these to a friend of mine who these are right in her color wheelhouse, and she can handle Surrey like most people, just not me. So yeah, in case anyone was curious where I went with that whole potential of using Surrey thing. Unfortunately, it did not work out. All right, so for this episode's wellness tip, I am going to be continuing to talk a little bit more about setting up your knitting space. And this is all just based off of my own personal journey as I've been setting up my space here in our new home. So last episode I talked to you about this chair I have and about why I like it, why it works for me. If you don't remember, go back and reference and look at the end of that video. I do plan to make a reel kind of out of this in the future soon, so be on the lookout for that. But today I want to talk about the height of maybe wherever you're looking. So a lot of us tend to knit or crochet while we're maybe watching TV or reading a book. That is very common. And so I want to talk to you about the importance of the height of where you're looking. So a lot of us, I think, for me for a long time, especially even after I got this chair, I would sit back and I would knit and I would have my laptop in my lap. So I would be knitting and looking down at my laptop. If you can see, my eye line kind of goes down like this. And so actually that is not great. That's not great for our necks and our shoulders. The ideal ergonomics for looking at a monitor or anything in front of you is to have it so that it is your eyes are level and looking straight with your head straight. So you're not looking down, you're not looking up. Your head is straight and you're able to look straight, and you know, your eyes don't need to look down, or you don't need to tilt your head down. So what I did was I got I believe they're called like a pneumatic stand. So I'm going to move the camera so you can kind of see it. So it is this table. I just raised it so you can see it. It's got this pneumatic handle, so you hold it and then you can move it up and down, you know. So it's this large stand. It's got wheels on it and legs, so I can move it around, maneuver it around. But this is what I use. I put my laptop in front of it and I put it in front of me on my chair, and I can adjust it so that when I'm sitting and knitting, I can be looking straight ahead the way I'm looking at you on camera right now, instead of looking down at the computer on my lap. So the same thing applies for if you maybe read a book while you knit. Make sure that your book is propped up on a stand where it can be eye level to where you're sitting, so that it's up here and not down here on your lap, and you're not looking down and knitting like this with your head hanging down. Okay, so just think that you always want your head and your neck to be straight and your eyes to be looking straight forward, ideally, okay? It is okay to, you know, have alterations to that if you're in short-term positions, but if you're going to be sitting and knitting for more than half an hour or crafting for more than half an hour, I do recommend that you try to optimize your position as much as you can to avoid the onset of any sort of pains or aches. I will put a link in the description box below to the exact stand that I bought. It is a little pricey. I think it's under $200, but it is over 100, I believe. I can't remember now. And I decided it was worth the price because paying medical bills for physical therapy or for work on your neck because you have chronic neck pain is far more expensive. Or, you know, even having to get regular massages because you're having some chronic tension is far more expensive than a one-time cost for something that you can adjust to where you need it to be and that you can maneuver to where you need it to be. Yeah, so I hope that is helpful. Please feel free to ask any questions down below in the comments. I believe that's all I have to say. Again, I'm feeling like I haven't podcasted in a while, so I'm just starting, I feel like I'm new to this again, to this talking to the camera stuff. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed sitting and chat and listening to me today, talk about my projects and my yarn and about wellness. And I am excited for this new year and for the directions that I am planning to take my, it's not a business really, planning to take my channel? I don't know. Yeah, but thank you for coming and spending time with me. If you're still watching, thank you very much. If you are new, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And for any returning viewers, thank you for always coming back and spending time with me. I will see you guys next time. Happy knitting.